Hi everyone, this is Holly. A couple of years ago, I made a single oil soap using shea butter. I really like that soap, especially for my dry winter skin, but I had a few requests on that video to modify the recipe a bit in hopes of boosting the lather. I'll show you how I made this new 60% shea butter soap, and if you're interested, I'll list the recipe in a soap calculator at the end of this video. If you're a beginner or interested in soap making, be sure to check out the links below on lye safety and beginner soap making. When making soap, always protect your skin and eyes and follow lye-safe handling procedures during the entire soap making process, even while cleaning up. I created the lye earlier and set it aside to cool. If you'd like to see how I prepare lye, I'll leave a link below to my simple soap video along with links to basic soap making video series and posts by other creators. While the lye was cooling down, I prepared the oils and butters by starting with the hardest first, and in this case that was cocoa butter. Once it was mostly melted, I added the other hard oils, which were shea butter and coconut oil. I placed them back in the microwave and measured out the liquid oils, and for this recipe that was simply olive oil. I like to warm the hard oils just enough so they're mostly melted, but not completely. Then I stir for a minute or so until they're clear and add them to the liquid oils. I find this process helps keep the oils from getting too warm, which would just take longer to cool down to my preferred soaping temperature, and for this soap that was between 90 and 100 degrees Fahrenheit. I blended the soap for several minutes until it reached a light medium trace. You might be able to see here when I drizzled some of the soap on top, a thin line or trace of soap remained for just a second or two and then settled back into the batter. I did oven process the soap as I normally do, just to make sure it went through gel phase completely. I didn't want to end up with a partial gel or no gel at all and have to wait longer to unmold and cut the soap. I preheated my oven to its lowest temperature and then immediately cut the oven off and placed the soap inside. I left the oven light on for about 3 hours to help maintain warmth for a bit, then turned it off as well. I removed the soap the next morning and was able to unmold and cut it that afternoon. I wanted to quickly mention something about this soap calculator. If you need help with any of these sections, you can simply select the corresponding number and a help box will pop up with a more detailed description. When you're done, just select the gray box to close the window. Since this is a cold process soap, I made sure the top of lye was set to sodium hydroxide or NaOH. The total weight of my oils for this recipe was 1,000 grams. I used a 33% lye concentration, which means my lye solution consisted of 33% sodium hydroxide and 67% water. I left the superfat at 5% and set the fragrance to 0 since I was making an unscented soap. Even though I'm still a big fan of the single oil shea butter soap I made previously, I really like how this one turned out too. As you can probably tell in the beginning of this video, the lather is really dense and there was plenty of it, at least for me. The soap leaves my skin feeling clean but not dry at all. Just like with my previous single oil soap, this soap also had a very strong scent of shea butter. The scent is not as strong now, 9 weeks later, but it is still there. I really hope you found something useful here to help you in your soap making. And as always, thank you so much for watching.